Good morning, students. Today we start with another chapter, okay? Scarcity of water. There's a little change in the syllabus, you'll come to know. So as we have completed till now, 3 chapters are done, okay? So the next chapter in your syllabus is scarcity of water. So today we discuss about water and its importance in our lives. Okay. So though the chapter is named as scarcity of water, but here in this chapter, the content that we need to go discuss is the various forms of water, or you can say the various forms in which water exists in nature, and the importance of water in plants, in human beings' life, and animals. What is the importance of water? Then we come to the scarcity of water and its effect on life. And then we discuss a bit about water management. Okay. So first of all, before we go in a detailed discussion of the scarcity of water, beforehand, you must know, you all are aware of why water is important in our lives, isn't it? So this is you can say a recall of the knowledge that you already have, or we feel what is the importance of water, and that is why we do a lot of things, a lot of activities to conserve water in our lives, isn't it? So all living things need water to survive. It's not that only human beings need water. All living organisms need water to survive. Can you imagine living without water? Or what are the activities you would not be able to do if there is no water supply to your home? Isn't it? So there will be various problems in our life if there is no water supply. We cannot make our food, we cannot wash clothes and utensils, we cannot take a bath, isn't it? So various problems will arise. So water plays a very important role in our life. So why do human beings need water? First question is, why do we need water? A very simple answer that comes in mind is that human being needs water for washing clothes or cooking food. But besides that also, water has an important role in human beings' life. How it is? Because about 70% of human body is made up of water. You can see in this diagram, in this picture, it shows our body is 70% water. That means whatever the weight of our body is, suppose a person is 40 kg or 50 kg or 25 kg, okay? It depends on our age, isn't it? Our weight also increases as we grow up. So whatever it is, whatever the weight of a person is, of an individual is, about 70% of our body is made up of water. Here in this picture, it shows that kidney contains 83% water, lymph contains 94%, in joints we have 83% of water. But all, if we sum up and average, if we take of all these percentages of water that are present in different parts of human body, or you can say in different cells of human body, then we find that in normal human body, there is 70% water. And you imagine our body is made up of 70% water. That means the rest 30% is only we are having the muscles, cells, bones, etc. Okay. So first importance in our life is that our body itself is made up of water. Several biological processes in human beings and animals are carried out in the presence of water. Now, what do you mean by biological processes? Processes, that means life processes. processes like nutrition, respiration, circulation, transportation, excretion, isn't it? Growth and development, all these processes in human being as well as in other animals are carried out in the presence of water. To name a few, say for example, digestion of food, absorption of nutrients, all this need water. So let us see what are the various activities in our body needs the presence of water. You can see in this picture, okay? So here is composed of 70 to 75% of our brain is composed of water, okay? Water helps in carrying nutrients and oxygen to your cells. You have learned in the chapter nutrition in animals, okay, where we have discussed about digestion process. So this digestion of various components in our body cannot take place in the absence of water, okay. And once it is digested, we know that it should be absorbed. For that, carrying of this digested food so that it can be absorbed, it needs the presence of water. So water helps in carrying nutrients as well as oxygen to your cells. It moistens oxygen for breathing. It moistens oxygen for breathing. That means whenever we are breathing, there is a moisture in our lungs. So moisture comes from where? It comes from water. It helps in conversion of food to energy. We have learned that our food, the food that we eat, needs to be converted so that it can release energy. So for that purpose also water is needed in our body. It protects, water protects and cushions your vital organs. Vital means important organs are there in our body which are located in various regions. So this water present in our body give a support to these organs. Okay. It helps your body absorb nutrients. Okay, that we have already discussed. See the other point there, it regulates your body temperature. Water is also needed to regulate the body temperature of human being as well as animals. It makes up 83% of your blood. The blood that flows within our body, it is made up of 83% of water. It helps in removal of waste, the undigested food matter that will be traveling in the large intestine, okay? That also for removal of this waste metals from our body also needs water. And that is why you are suggested, you are advised to drink a lot of water so that a proper digestion takes place. Not only digestion, so that the waste materials can be removed properly at proper time every day. You need to drink a lot of water. Okay, otherwise we suffer from dehydration. If there is less water in our body, we suffer from dehydration. Okay, water composes 22% of your bones. The bones, generally we think these are very hard structure, isn't it? Very hard and rigid structure. It gives a framework to our body. No doubt it gives a framework to our body, but it also needs the presence of water. Next, it cushions your joints. The joints that we have in our knees, in our ankles, in the wrist, in the shoulder, in the hip region, we have different joints. We have studied in class 6, various kind of joints. Even these joints are also cushioned. That means the support is given by the presence of water. So what it says, the last message this picture gives you, water is essential to your body. Okay. And hence we have to drink a lot of water. So these are the important points that, or you can say importance of water in our body or in any animal's body. You know, when we take in water through food and drinks, we also lose it in the form of urine, sweat, and exhaled air. Okay, the water that we drink every day, this is given out in the form of urine, in the form of sweat. Whenever we sweat, that means during sweating process, water is given out. And the air that we exhale, the air that we give out, even that also contains water in the form of vapor. So that is why it's not that it's not like that you have drank a lot of water early in the morning and then evening you will not drink water. It should not be like that. Okay, because this water will be even going out of the body, taking all the and you can say the waste materials are released in the form of urine, sweat, etc. Even the water that comes out during exhalation, when we breathe out, even that is also a waste material produced in our body during the process of respiration. Okay, so that is why continuously at frequent intervals we must make a habit of drinking a lot of water. Now, besides this, we have understood that water is needed in our body, isn't it? But besides this, water have different uses also, isn't it? Not only for this is our for the internal parts of our body or internal function because of which water is needed. But besides that, water is needed for doing various other activities too, isn't it? So now let us see what in besides using water in our body, what is different work that we do. It's very simple, isn't it? It's not to be told, but still I am telling you, we are just, since we are discussing, we can't forget this part also, that in what form are we using water? Right from the morning until you go to bed, you need water, right? We need water for drinking purposes. We need water right in the morning for brushing our teeth, to take bath, wash hands, for cooking, for watering plants, isn't it? Not only this, these are the day-to-day activities that we do at home, isn't it? Or in our daily life. But besides this, water is also used for agriculture, water is used for recreational work, like you go to sea and then okay there are various recreational work are there. You go for swimming. Water can be used as a also as a source for your sports, isn't it? Like swimming competition is there and various other competitions that take place in water, isn't it? So water has a very important role in our life, isn't it? Now why do is it only necessary for human being and animals? It is, or it is necessary for other organisms like plants. Yes, of course, water is also important for plants, isn't it? Now let us see how water uses, plants uses water in different ways. So this is a chapter 16 that we are discussing, scarcity of water. Okay, in this chapter, the beginning point part, you will see that the content that is given in your syllabus is why are we using, or what is the importance of water in say human being, in animals, in plants. It is mentioned in the very first page of this chapter. Yeah. Now, how water is used by plants? Here the picture shows a small plant, isn't it? But this is, okay, I'm not able to make the picture bigger for you all. Yeah. So here you can see how water is used by plants. Water is used in photosynthesis. You all know that water is used in photosynthesis to make food. In the first chapter, you have learned it and you have understood the importance of water in making food. Without the help of water, food cannot be prepared by the plants. So it is used in the process called photosynthesis. And also it is used for growth. A plant when will be growing, that means when the cells will divide, when the cells will increase in numbers for the growth of a plant, that also needs the presence of water. Then The other side, you see, it transports materials in plants. So the food that will be prepared in the leaves needs to be sent, or you can say transported, to each and every part of the plant body. Here it's a very small plant, but in bigger trees also, from the leaves the plant has to come across the stem, and then it has to go to, the food has to go to the roots itself. Okay, that to the end, the tip of the roots also, the food needs to be transported. So it cannot be transported in the absence of water. So here plant is using water to transport food or other materials in it. Then it keeps the plant cells rigid. Rigid means strong, hard. Okay, a plant can stand upright because of the presence of water in it, water in the cells of the plant body. It brings nutrients into the soil from the roots. Okay, so when the root is absorbing water from the soil, then also various minerals are coming into the plant body. Okay, so plant water is helpful also in bringing the nutrients from the soil, because these nutrients which are present in the soil remain in a dissolved form. That means it is mixed in water in present in soil. And from this soil water, the roots absorb the water, isn't it? Because roots are underground. They cannot take water from the upward source that is in the aerial environment. So they have to take water. You all know that roots absorb water. So while absorbing water, they also absorb the dissolved nutrients present in the water in soil. Okay. So this is all about why water is needed by plants. But here one point that is not mentioned in this picture is germination. Even seeds when germinate need water. You might have observed, or you might have done this activity in your earlier classes, okay, to keep some seeds in water and observe how it germinates. Or you keep seeds in like wet cotton and you sprinkle water over it. You might have done it practically also when you sow a seed in pots. Then you have to give a little amount of water so that it can easily germinate, isn't it? So for germination of seeds also, water is very important in the plant body or in the life of plants. So here we have come across what is the importance of water in human being, what is the importance of water in plants, okay, and why water is important even for animals too, okay, and water is used for various purposes by human being, isn't it? Like drinking, washing, cooking, etc. It is also used for generation of electricity. Yes, we can't forget that. The generation of electricity. As you all know, in India is a country where we are using hydroelectricity. Now, what do we mean by hydroelectricity? Electricity that is produced from water. So almost all industries require water for various purposes. A large amount of water is used in agricultural activities. Water is also used as means of transport as well as recreation, okay, or sports activities. So these are the various importance of water. Now, if you are asked a question that write 5 uses of water, so you do not end up your answer simply writing that water is needed for cooking, washing, okay, or bathing. You cannot write that as one point. These all will come as 1 point. Remember that. These all will come as 1 point. If you're asked to write the importance of water, then you have to mention the various points that we have discussed. Why water is important in human being, why water is important in plants, why, and then you can add why water is important for doing various activities. If you're asked why water is important or give 5 uses of water, now in class 7 level, simply writing it is used for cooking, it is used for bathing, it is used for washing, then it won't be a very appropriate answer in your level. Okay, so you have to write various, all these points, cooking, bathing, these day-to-day activities will come as 1 point, and you have to add on the other points that we have discussed today. Okay, So next we have in your next page, if you see in your textbook, then the topic comes as different states of water. That means in what states water exists. So water, as you all know, it could be in the form of liquid, isn't it? For example, the rainwater, water in the river, water in the sea or oceans, or water that comes in your tap, in the kitchen, in your bathroom, etc. So this is our water we use for drinking. This is the liquid form of water that we are using. Water can be in the form of solid. For example, ice, snow, hail, etc. Water also could be in the form of gas. For example, water vapor. Or you can see water vapor like you take water in a pan and put it on heat in your gas stove, and you will see that after some time when it attains a certain amount of temperature, because it gets heated up and it starts converting itself into water vapor. Yes, in the chapter heat you have learned about it, how water can be like transferred into or converted into various forms, isn't it? So it's very interesting that water is such a substance which can be in all the form in our environment. Okay, it can be in the form of liquid, it can be in the form of solid, it can be in the form of gas. These are the various states of water. And this also we can see this various states of water or conversion of this water into various states. We can also visualize or we can understand while we study water cycle. Okay, you have studied water cycle in geography. I think social science, you have studied about water cycle. There in the water cycle, if you study, water cycle means it is the cycle of water, like how water is like coming into the earth and how it is getting converted into water vapor. And then again, it goes back into the atmosphere. It cools down, it comes back again. This is what is water cycle, right? The cycle where water is converting into various forms, okay, in our environment. So this diagram you can see, it's a very easy diagram. Okay, the diagram that is given in your book is not very clear. Okay, you can draw similar kind of diagram. You can keep a screenshot of this, or if once you observe it, you can create your own diagram to show this water cycle process. Okay, now what happens in water cycle? In nature, we know that water exists as snow on high mountains. Most of the rivers, lakes, seas, and oceans contain water in liquid form. Water exists as water vapor in the atmosphere. Okay. In class 6, you have already learned about the water cycle. The continuous circulation of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back again to the earth is called the water cycle. So this is the definition of water cycle. It's given in your book, in the second page of the chapter. You will see the bottom, the last line in the chapter, the last line in the last paragraph, you can see the definition. You need to underline that. The continuous circulation of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back again to the earth is called water cycle. Now, how it happens? You may be asked what is water cycle and explain the process with a suitable diagram. So diagram is given over here. You can create your own diagram. You need to show these various steps of water cycle. Okay, now when you are asked to explain, you have to explain each step of water cycle. Now you can see that here it is shown evaporation. Now what happens, water in the various water bodies such as oceans, lakes, ponds, okay, or rivers, water, what happens, it warms up due to the heat of the sun. So we show a sun over here. Okay, due to the heat of the sun, the water in the water body starts getting converted into vapor. So here this process is known as evaporation, where water is, since it becomes converts into water vapor and it is lighter, and hence it starts rising up. Along with, as we all know, water, the air when is heated up, air on the surface, this above this water body will be also heated up due to the heat of the sun. So along with the air, the water vapor that gets added in the air also will rise up by the process of evaporation. So it forms water vapor, and large amount of water is also given out from leaves of plants. You can see here, transpiration. Transpiration is the process where excess amount of water is given out by the plants. Yes, this also you have learned in your first chapter, I think. What is transpiration? Transpiration is the release of or giving out of excess amount of water present in the plant. As you all know, plants is always absorbing water. Okay, right from its birth till it dies, it keeps on absorbing water from the soil to the roots. Okay, and this water is utilized by the plant body for various activities, no doubt. But the water which is not needed or which remains in excess amount will be always given out in the form of vapor in the atmosphere. That process is known as transpiration. So we are getting water, we are converting water into vapor in two ways. One is evaporation from the water body due to the sun's heat, and the other one is the release of excess amount of water by the plants by the process known as transpiration. Both this process, evaporation and transpiration, helps in converting water into water vapor so that it is given back to the atmosphere. Okay. Now, what happens to this water vapor that rises up in the atmosphere? Water vapor rise high up in the atmosphere and then cool down and condense to form tiny drops on small dust particles. So when it goes higher up, there is a certain range in the atmosphere, a certain level when it attains, then it cannot remain in the same temperature because here the temperature is higher. Now when it rises up, okay, at a certain height, what happens? This water starts cooling down. Okay, when it starts cooling down, when water gets cooled down, we call this process as condensation, because in this process water condenses, okay, and it gets converted into tiny drops of water surrounding the dust particles. Since water cannot exist only as tiny drops, okay, it surrounds itself with the dust particles, okay, and it gets converted into tiny droplets. So here at a certain height, we find that the water vapor that has come from the earth's surface cools down and gets converted into tiny droplets of water, and this process is known as condensation. So when it becomes heavier, when clouds get denser, denser means it becomes more amount of tiny droplets accumulate, it becomes heavier, okay, with accumulation of tiny drops and become too heavy, and then rainfall occurs. When it becomes heavier, it cannot remain there, it comes back again to the earth's surface in the form of rain. And this process, this conversion of water droplets, okay, and water droplets coming down to or pouring down into the earth's surface in the form of rain is known as precipitation. So rainwater goes back again. Now rainwater can be in any area. It goes back to oceans. It may go to seas. It may go to rivers, lakes, ponds, and streams. And also some amount of water percolates down. So here you can see in this diagram is showing as a stream it is coming down, isn't it? And it's again joining into the water body. So somehow the water will again come back into the earth's surface. So some amount of water that falls on the land will go down will percolate down, or you can say seep down, SWP, seeps down below the earth's top surface, and it accumulates as groundwater. Okay, when it crosses different layers of soil have different layers, okay, topsoil, then subsoil, and then another soil there, then you have bedrock. So before it reaches bedrock, okay, bedrock is the layer of rock from which water cannot pass, through which water cannot pass, okay, because they are non-porous rocks. So water when falls on the soil, some amount of water will be absorbed by the soil surface, and the excess amount of water which the soil cannot hold, what will happen to that water? It will go down below the earth's surface, okay, below the different layers of soil surface, and it accumulates and collects as groundwater. You all know what is groundwater. It is the water that is available underneath the soil surfaces, isn't it? So this is the water actually that comes from by rain, that it goes down and collects itself as groundwater. So this cycle of this water moving into the earth surface and then in atmosphere, again back to earth surface, again into the atmosphere, this complete cycle is known as water cycle. Now, why are we discussing about water cycle? Because it also plays a great role, because it is giving us the water back into the earth surface. The word of percolation, it might be a new word to you, percolation or percolates. The word, the meaning of the word is given in your book in a box. You can put a tick mark over there. Percolates means to filter through a porous surface. Okay. So for today, it's this much I have explained in this video. In the next class, I will be explaining about the availability of water, like how we get water in our surface, in what form we get, or what are the sources of water. Then we move into the discussion of scarcity of water. Okay, thank you.